Welcome back. If you're here, it means you buried something yesterday, or at least you saw it. The mask, the performance, the illusion of being a good one, when God is actually calling you to be a forged one. But here's the truth. You won't stay dead unless you learn how to face the fire without flinching. And that fire often looks like them. Your partner, your ex, your boss, your kids, your community, even your audience, they're not attacking you. They're revealing where you still don't trust God. Today is not about them. It's about the part of you that gets activated by them. The part that still reacts, defends, controls, hides. The part that says, if they would just. But the kingdom leader says, what is God trying to show me through this? Let me be clear again. This is not just content, and this week is not a soft runway to an easy pitch. By the end of this week, a few of you will be invited to go deeper, to apply for a sacred covenant path we call the Kingdom Covenant. But you won't see it unless your spirit is ready. You'll have to apply, and only the ones who are ready to be refined, not just inspired, will be invited. So today I ask you to do something most people never will. Use your triggers as teachers. Use your conflict as consecration. Use the mirror as a map. Welcome to day 2. The mirror is not the enemy. It's the fire that will form the leader you were always meant to be. Let's begin.
Come on, let the fire begin. I was taught to be steady, be kind, play it right, hold it close without the fight. But I gave and I gave till my soul disappeared. Love like a servant, still lost what I feared. They called me a good man, said I did all I could, but my crown gathered dust where a king once stood. She didn't need nice, she needed real. Not a man who performs, but a man who can feel. I chased her fire, but I lost my flame. Built her a world while I forgot my name. Then you came in the wreckage, in the ash, in the end, and said, son, now's the time, let the fire begin. From good man to God man I rise. I buried Adam in the dirt, let the mask fall with the hurt. No more shame, no more blame, no more plan B. From good man to God man I rise. Let the counterfeit die, so the king in me can breathe. From good man to God man. But now I see it was carving new life. She mirrored the places I didn't want seen. Demanded the man, not the broken machine. I'm not here to be safe, to be praised, to be sweet. I'm here to hold glory at the soles of my feet. So I speak with truth and I stand in flame. And I love like a lover who ain't playing no games. Yeah, I used to shrink, I used to hide, but now I bleed. Presence I breathe in the bride. You gave me the sword, you gave me the ring. You said take your throne, son, let her feel the king. From good man to God man I'm buried Adam in the dirt, let the mask fall with the hurt. No more shame, no more blame, no more plan B. From good man to God man I rise. Let the counterfeit die, so the king in me can breathe. From good man to God man I rise. From good man to God man I rise. They got buried Adam in the dirt, let the mask fall with the hurt. No more shame, no more blame, no more plan B. From good man to God man I rise. Let the counterfeit die, so the king in me can breathe. From good man to God man, I wasn't not selected, I'm a God man. Yeah, rising in the forge, not the fantasy. I let the fire make me free. From good man to God man I rise. From good man to God man I rise. I rise. I rise. Let the fire fall.
Jonathan thought leadership meant having all the answers. Staying calm, keeping control, fixing things before they broke. But the more he tried to lead in strength, the more his world reflected his weakness. He thought his triggers were proof something was wrong with others, until he realized they were revealing what was still unhealed in him. See, when you've been trained to lead through performance, conflict feels like failure. Correction feels like shame. Emotion feels like danger. But true leadership isn't the absence of reaction, it's the presence of reflection. Jonathan had to face the mirror, not the one others held up to flatter him, but the one that exposed where fear still lived inside his fire. He learned to stay when he wanted to flee, to listen when he wanted to fix, to lead when he felt like hiding. And in that fire, he didn't find a wound. He found a weapon. Now, he teaches men and women how to do the hardest thing in the world, to stay present when everything inside wants to run. Because the mirror isn't your enemy, it's your mercy. And today, it might just set you free. So if you're ready to see what your triggers have been trying to teach you, give it up for Jonathan and welcome him to the stage.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the God Man Challenge. You could be anywhere, doing anything, and you chose to be here. I honor you. I appreciate you. I thank you for that. Give yourselves a big round of applause, a big pat on the back. God men and God women rising. So who here's ever felt like you've been doing everything right but still felt unseen, unheard, or unfulfilled? Raise your hand. Awesome, thank you. And who here has ever watched someone you love slowly lose their fire while trying to keep the peace? Say aye. Thank you. And who here is ready to stop performing for love and start living from truth even if it costs your comfort? Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. All right, great job, everybody. So today, day 2. Today 2 is this is all about the mirror. All about the what? The mirror. So yesterday we were confronting our good man mask, the good man, the good woman mask, which is also called the fig leaf. Our good man, good woman mask. Those are our fig leaves, also known as our ideal self. So if you haven't heard that distinction through me before, it's like you got your ideal self, your real self, and your true self. Life is an 18-inch journey from the head to the heart, from the mind through the emotions to the heart, from slavery to freedom, from Egypt to the promised land. So your ideal self is the fake smile that you put on. You know, you're trying. It's who you think the world would love, and so you're trying to craft an identity that the world would love and like. but it's because your real self feels unlovable. So you're coming from sin. I'm not enough. Sin is the perceived separation from God, the perception that I'm not enough, and we're leaving what's real in the pursuit of what appears to be. So because we don't feel like we're enough, because we bit into the knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of good and evil got stuck inside of our head, and then we put the mask on top of that, because now we know what bad is, and since we did the one thing we weren't supposed to do, what does that mean about us? Oh, we're bad. So judge not, and you will not be judged, but judge with the measure that you use that will be used back to you, because you're the one measuring. So we've judged ourselves after God already created us. We are God's creation. God created us and he judged us as good. But then we went and rejudged. We got the knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of judgment, and then we went and rejudged, and then we started to recreate ourselves, but we miscreated ourselves. We made a false version of ourselves to try to fix the problem that never existed in the first place. It only existed because we bit the lie. The liar lied to us. We believed it and followed the liar into the lie, let the lie get at us, and then we got into it. And so we're living in a perceived separation from God. We're born into sin. Sin is not actually to be punished, it's the perception to be corrected. The perception that I'm not enough and it's not enough. And so we put the ideal self, we put the fig leaf, the Adam and Eve, they then put their fig leaves on. Uh-oh, I'm not enough. Well, I got to fix this. Well, so I got to hide the part of me that I know is not enough. Like there's a wart right there, there's a wrinkle right there. That thing's not as big as it should be, or, so let me cover that stuff up, right? And judging the creation, judging the creator, that if you're judging God's creation, you're judging the creator of the creation. And we are creators created in the likeness and image of God. So we judge ourselves, we're judging God. And we don't have the authority to do that. But that's what we did. And so then we tried to fix it. We thought we could make ourselves better than God made us. And we did that with an ideal self, the good man, the good woman. That's a mask. And so yesterday we took off our masks. Now, why did we put the mask on in the first place? Because of what was underneath them, because the judgment that we had upon ourselves. So underneath the ideal self is the real self. That's how you really feel about yourself. When you see somebody that's got all the letters after their name, the PhD and the MD and all the stuff, those people are they feel like they're not smart. So they're trying to figure out what they can do to finally feel smart, because they think their worthiness it depends upon them being smart. So your ideal self, again, is who you think you're supposed to be so the world will love you. So your mom will love you, your dad will love you, your friends, your family, whoever that you're yearning for the love from, you're becoming a false thing. And so some people thought I got to be the smart one. Some people thought I got to be the pretty one. Some people thought I got to be I got to be really quiet. People thought I got to be really loud. Some people, I got to be the funny one. And so they made up whatever the thing is, and then they put the mask on and developed that. And so yesterday we took our masks off, and now that reveals what we were hiding in the first place, our real self, what we really believe about ourselves. But now that we got our masks off, we can actually see what we're hiding so we can get to work on it. But how do you see your mirror? I mean, how do you see your face? You can't see your face without a what? A mirror. So that's what today is all about. Today is all about saying, thank God for the mirror, and looking in the mirror. Thank God there's a mirror that I can look at, so I can see what I can see what I've been hiding from myself, so I can deal with it. Because as we talked about yesterday, you can't crucify what you won't confront. And that's why when you come to the cross, when you come to Jesus, it starts with repentance. It starts with what? Repentance. And so repentance includes ownership and asking for forgiveness. So you own it first. Like, this is my stuff. I made this up. And so you're owning that you made it up, and you're owning that, hey, I can't solve the problem at the level of consciousness that created it. So I need help. And this is not yours. This is not your stuff. I made this stuff up, but I don't know how to get myself out of this. So repentance is like, I made it up. Here it is. I'm owning that I did this, and there are consequences. God truly did give me free will and the full power of God. He truly did create me in his likeness and image, and he truly did give me a free will, because he didn't create slaves and robots. He created creators as companions. And so I used the free will that you gave me. I used your power to destroy myself and other people, and I apologize for that. I'm owning I did that. I'm owning I used the will that you gave me and your power for evil, and I'm owning that, and I'm laying it down. I'm returning my will to yours, not my will, but thine be done. And so we've owned our mask, we're taking it off, and now we've got to look in the mirror. You have to feel the conviction of what it is that you're hiding. You got to face it, because so on that journey of ideal, real, true, another way to distinguish it is there's your truth, reality, and the truth. And we're going through you got to go through the river of reality to get into the truth. Now, the truth is we're all one, everything is perfect, love is the only thing that exists. That's the truth, but we're stuck on the wrong side of the river of reality, to where you can know that truth in your head, and you can, start to believe it, but you're believing it up here. But to know and not to do is not to know. So you're believing it up here, and you're distancing yourself from your mirror. That's why a lot of the gurus, they've got the truth. They actually do know the truth. What they're saying, all the gurus, they're actually telling the truth, but they haven't gone through the river of reality. That's why they're putting themselves in caves. They're getting as far from their mirrors as they possibly can, so they can convince themselves that they've actually embodied the truth. But they didn't embody it. They just got the truth, and they ran off and hid somewhere, so that they don't have to face their mirrors. They don't have to see they don't have to see where they fall short of that truth, because it's still Luciferian. And Lucifer's, I want everything God has, I just don't want God. I want to be God. I don't want to have to humble myself. I want to, and I mean, the truth is we are God, but but you got to go through the river of reality. We're an expression of that. But even Jesus said, I and my Father are one. So Jesus is one with the Father. He says, I'm in you and you're in me, just as I'm in God and God's in me. But he says, I and my Father are one, except that he is greater. And so I talk about how if you take a light and you put it and you shine it into a prism, it comes out as a rainbow. And there's infinite colors in the rainbow, but how many lights are there? There's only one light. And so the colors in the rainbow, that's us. That's our souls. Our souls are colors of the rainbow. And God is the light. And so none of us are the whole rainbow. God is the whole rainbow, but expressed through our souls. And so we've got to go back through that. And, people are trying to, because when the rainbow comes out, it's perceptually separated, like it's different colors, but it's all one rainbow. There's no separation in the colors. They're different colors, but it's all one light source. And so we're perceiving ourselves as separate because we're going away from God. We're going away from the source. We're going away from the light, heading further and further into the darkness. And the further you get away from the light, the more dispersed all the light gets, the more dark you get, and the further you get away from all the colors until there are no colors. And so, but what people are trying to do is trying to figure out how to get light from another color. Because they're like, I'm getting farther, but they don't want to go to the source. They don't want to go back to the light, because to go to the source, to go to the light, you are no longer in control. Now, you never were in control, but you're in this illusion that you are. And so you can think as long as you are in control of your suffering and your smallness and your sin and your lies and your judgment. You're in control of those things, but those things don't actually exist. They only exist in the reality that you made up. What you believe to be true is true for you, even if it's a lie. You can make something not real more real than real. So you are in control of your suffering, your smallness, your lies, your fears, and your judgments. That's the only things you're in control of. But you don't want to own that, because that's the bad stuff. Well, I don't want to, that's not me. So you're trying to figure out how to stay in control and not lose the light. And so what you do is go look at another color and start trying to get your light from that color. And how you'll do it is by trying to convince them that you've got the light for them. So it doesn't work, but that's where the horse trading is. I'll give to you if you give to me. I'll give you light if you give me light. But it doesn't work that way. Everybody say, I cannot get my light from another color. And so you have to humble yourself. The prodigal son returns like, hey, I've messed up. I've strayed. God gave me the kingdom, and I blew my inheritance. And you have to own that. And so, but we took off our fig leaves, we took off our mask, and now we're going to look in the mirror. And the looking in the mirror is the owning of it. So salvation is a point, freedom is a process. Salvation is the moment you receive grace. I made a mistake. I repent of my sins. I receive grace. Let grace take my place. So now you're saved in eternity. It's already done. You've returned home in eternity, but you're still in the perception of time. So in time it takes time. So in time it takes time for freedom to manifest, for you to have the experience of it. And so now our part is freedom. That's where we're working on now. And how we get free is by looking in the mirror and seeing where we are out of alignment. Like, because if you look at Jesus, Jesus is the perfect mirror that is the representation of God. So when you look at him, your difference between the differences that are between you and him, that's, it's what we talked about yesterday. Jesus said, nothing in me does not come from God. The only difference between me and you now is in me, there's nothing else. So the differences in you, what's different about you than him, our difference makes a difference. So we all play different roles, but I'm talking about the essence, like where you're coming from, the difference on where you're coming from, where is your source compared to where his source is and where he's coming from. We have our unique flavors and colors and our differences, but it's about the source, where you're coming from. And so to the degree that you're coming from somewhere different than he's coming from, to the degree in which your will is opposed to his will, which is one with the Father's will, the degree where you're following your flesh, where you're following your preferences, where you're controlling or performing, hiding, if you have anything to hide, anything to prove, anything to gain, anything to lose, to the degree you have any of that stuff, that's the degree where when you look at the mirror of Jesus, you fall short. But what's going to really reveal that is don't go and hide yourself in a hole in a cave somewhere. Stick yourself right in the middle of a community, right in the middle of a family. And the ones who are closest to you are the ones that you love most. Those are the ones that are actually going to be able to show you what you've been hiding the most. Those are your greatest gifts. So the core myth we're going to be dismantling today is my emotional reaction is justified by their behavior. Has anybody ever justified your emotional reaction by the behavior of another? So we're going to dismantle that today, because that's the source of all your problems. That's what's keeping you from looking in the mirror and cleansing yourself. Jesus said, take the plank out of your eye before you adjust a speck in someone else's. And so if you're justifying your emotional reaction, if you're reacting to reality and you're justifying it by their behavior, you're saying they need to get the plank out of their eye, but theirs is just a speck relative to what you've got in your eye. And so it's about looking in the mirror, saying, okay, I see this person has something in their eye, but the only reason I can see that, you spot it, you got it. We don't see the world as it is, we see this world as we are. So this world is just our mirror. And so let me find that inside of myself. Let me find that in my eye, and let me get that out of my eye. So again, the core myth we're dismantling is my emotional reaction is justified by their behavior. That is a myth. Everybody says that's a lie from Satan. I saw this quote. It just popped up yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. That fits perfectly right here. This was from some dude named R.C. Sprout. Never heard of the guy. Don't know who he is, but quote was really cool. It says, when I think I'm unfairly hated, I try to remember that I'm unfairly loved. See, there's no good, bad, right, or wrong, just what works and doesn't work given what you're trying to accomplish. And I'm saying that in the time-based realm where we are trying to control reality. Now there is good, bad, right, and wrong in the truth, but in order to get ourselves back there, we have to let go of our judgment of what we think we know. And then, so no good, bad, right, or wrong, just what works and doesn't work given what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're trying to accomplish returning home to heaven, then what you're going to do is actually stop deciding for yourself what's good, bad, right, and wrong. And you're just going to listen to the creator of creation and creators and creatures. And you're going to ask him, and then he's going to show, and he's going to separate the wheat from the chaff and discern and distinguish everything for you. But when I think I'm unfairly hated, I try to remember that I'm unfairly loved because we don't get what we want or deserve, we get what we focus on. We manifest our reality with our subconscious belief systems. Manifest doesn't mean to create, it means to make obvious what is already there. What's wrong is always available. So it's what's right. What's missing is always available. So is what's there. Nothing is always available. You can look right into the abyss of nothing. Like nothing doesn't exist. There is no nothing. So when you're say what's missing, the only thing that can ever be missing is nothing, because the thing that's missing isn't there. So it's nothing. So you're focusing on nothing. Everybody with me right now? The only thing that can ever be missing is nothing. So you're looking right on past everything, looking at nothing, because it's not there. There's literally nothing there. There's everything here. You got everything, but you look right on past it, but nothing is missing. The only thing that's ever missing is nothing. And we're trading in everything for nothing. And so we manifest our reality with our subconscious belief systems. Manifest doesn't mean to create. It means to make obvious what is already there or what isn't there. If you choose to focus on what isn't there, then that's what you get, what isn't there. And what isn't there is nothing. So what you get is nothing. And you just gave up everything, love, for nothing. Fear, disconnection. So when we choose what to focus on, what you focus on expands. So when I think I'm unfairly hated, I try to remember that I'm unfairly loved. I believe we talked about yesterday, there's justice, mercy, and grace. I don't remember if we talked about it yesterday or not. I talked about it recently, so I'll just say it again. So justice is getting what you deserve. Mercy is not getting what you deserve. And grace is getting what you don't deserve. You don't deserve the kind of love that Jesus gave us hanging on the cross. We deserve what he got. We deserve to go to the cross. We sent him to the cross. That's what we deserve, but he traded places with us. Grace took our place. And so, but that's true always. That grace is always there. But we're so focused on what isn't there that we miss what is, everything. Grace, because grace is God's everything. His son is everything he gave to us so we can come home. So yesterday was about taking off the mask. Today is about facing the mirror. What's today about? Facing the mirror. So this is not about becoming someone new. It's about learning to stay present when the old you wants to run, because everything in you is going to want to run away from that mirror. That's what you've been doing your whole life. You've been running your whole life, and you're running either is running away, you're like going and hiding, or you're running by performing. You're trying to get better and better, be gooder and gooder and gooder. And that's a running away as well. You're running away from your feeling of not enough. The more good you're trying to do and be, the more you're running away from how bad you feel like you are. And it's just packing and stacking. It's just the gap is getting bigger and the darkness is getting deeper inside of you. Even though it's all an illusion, it doesn't even exist. It's growing. So the mirror is not your enemy, it's mercy. What's the mirror? Mercy. Your triggers aren't the problem, they're the portal. Everybody say that. My triggers are not the problem, they are the portal. Everybody say, my mirror is not my enemy. It's mercy. And so what I mean by the mirror is mercy. Mercy is not just God letting you off the hook. Mercy is God giving you a chance to become the person that he designed you to be. Time is mercy. God gave us time. That's mercy. Because if he didn't give us time, we'd all be in hell. So he gave us time to receive grace and then correct our perspectives. When Jesus came and gave grace to the lady, they were like, they thought they pinned Jesus because the law was this woman had, she was an adulterer, and so she has to get stoned. That was the law for Moses. She has to get murdered, stoned by the people. So they're like, okay, Jesus, you're going to break the law. We're going to pin you. You're going to break the law right here. But Jesus didn't come to break the law, he came to fulfill the law. And they couldn't get that. And so as he says, all right, yeah, they put him on the spot. The law says you got to kill this woman. And he says, he who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. And now they're all checkmated, like, crap. If I stone this woman, I get stoned because I deserve to be stoned too. He's like, oh, there's not a single one of you hasn't sinned? There's not a single one of you that doesn't deserve hell? That doesn't deserve to be stoned? No, there's not a single one who does not deserve who does not deserve to be stoned. There was a single one, him. He's the only one who didn't deserve to be stoned, and so he's the only one who could stone her righteously. And what did he do? He said, you're forgiven, but that's not the end. He says, go and sin no more. So receive the grace. God did his part. He already did his part. Now it's our turn to do our part. God gave us grace. So he gave us grace and he gave us mercy. Mercy is time. He's given us time. So mercy is not just God letting you off the hook. Because if he just let you off the hook, there's no more justice. And if there's no more justice, there's no more law, there's no more truth. So you can't just get off the hook. That's why grace doesn't let you off the hook. To receive grace, you have to repent. You have to own what you've created and then receive the grace. Mercy gives you time to own what you did and repent of it and lay it down. So your mirror is mercy, because mercy is God giving you a chance to become the person that he designed you to be. He often does it by showing you through other people what still owns you. You know, I love sharing with people when they really hate somebody. I'm sharing the truth with them. The truth will set you free, but it'll piss you off first if you've been fighting for a lie. And what I say to someone who's really triggered by somebody all the time, I'm like, oh, cool, that's your God. Because they are your God. When someone outside of you, when a person is when you're justifying your emotional reaction by their behavior, you're making them your God. Because they're in control of your emotions. You're literally saying, this person is completely in control of my emotions. The only person who could be in control of your emotions is God, but he won't. He's the only one that could, but he won't. Because then you'd be a robot, then you'd be a slave. But you make yourself a slave to all the people that you're justifying your emotional reactions by their behavior. They become your God. You've made them your God. So anytime you're being triggered and pissed off and butthurt about a person, that person is your God. They're not actually your God, but you've made them your God and you're following them around, bowing to them. Every single time you get triggered by someone, you are bowing to them, making them your God. So what they're really meant to be is a mirror, which is mercy. God giving you the chance to become the person he designed you to be. He's showing you through other people what still owns you. Why are you using this person? What is it that this person thinks about you that you don't want them to think about you? That's the thing that owns you. That's the fear. That's the lie. That's the judgment that is in you that owns you. And you're scapegoating this person. You're projecting outside of yourself the fear, the lie, and the judgment that's in you. You're projecting it outside of you and putting it on them and acting as if it's distant from you. No, that's in you. The only way it's triggering you is because it's already in you. You know, it'd be like somebody saying, my arm is broken, so I'm going to send my brother to go to the doctor and get his arm to get worked on. And if the doctor fixes my brother's arm, then I'll be fine. It's your arm that's broken. You can't send your brother to the doctor for your broken arm. You got to go to the doctor for your broken arm. So someone else getting fixed is not going to fix you. It's you. So if you're not okay, unless somebody else is okay, then you're not okay. And so instead of punishing you, God is letting life reveal you, not to shame you, but to set you free. That's mercy. Everybody say, the mirror is mercy. The mirror And the mercy, it's not there to accuse you, it's there to free you. God is not punishing you with your reflection. He's preparing you to rise as the true you. So our chant for today is, I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I meant to see in me. So let's say it. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I meant to see in me. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I meant to see in me. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I meant to see in me. One more time. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I meant to see in me. Everybody say, I'm getting it. Everybody say, I got it. So if you've noticed, it appears without, though it is within. There's always going to be a war without if there's a war within. And you can see in the world, there's war going on. I mean, we're looking at all kinds of war. Like, you just look in the United States. I mean, we've been on the verge of civil war for years now. I mean, it's just coming to a head. But then you got the spiritual war that's going on, which is the over in Israel. You got the Jews and the Muslims fighting over an inheritance. So they're brothers fighting over who gets the inheritance. That's what's happening over there. So there's a war over inheritance, brothers warring over inheritance, because the Jews are descendants of Isaac, who inherited the land of Israel, and the Muslims are the descendants of Ishmael, which was the bastard son, who was not the promise of God. And so, who actually gets the inheritance? They both do, because of Jesus. So the promise came through Isaac's lineage. That's where Jesus popped out of Isaac's lineage, because he was Isaac's lineage was the promise of God. So Jesus popped out through that lineage, but he's for everyone. He's for the Jews and the Gentiles, the slaves and the free. So, but the two are fighting over the inheritance. The Jews and the Muslims are fighting over an inheritance that neither one of them are going to get, because they're missing the king that actually gives it to them. And once you receive the king, you don't fight anymore, because the king gives you the inheritance. But it belongs to everyone. Everyone who receives it. And so they're fighting over something because the Jews didn't go far enough and the Muslims went too far. The promise showed up. The Jews are still waiting for the Messiah. The Muslims actually received a Messiah, but then they kept going and they made a new one. So they both missed the point. They both missed the promise. They both missed the grace, so they both missed their inheritance. And they're at war with each other. Siblings fighting over an inheritance. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. It's neither one of y'all's until you receive the king. And once you receive the king, it's both of y'all's. It's all of ours. And so that's what's happening over there. And that's this big spiritual war that was prophesied in the Bible 2,000 years ago. But then you've also got the civil war going on in the United States, which is the left and the right, the Democrats and the Republic, which is basically masculine and feminine. The Republicans, the Democrats are becoming more and more masculine. Law, order, borders. We're drawing the line. You're getting out. We're saying what it is. We're the law, and you're gonna obey. Get out. So that's the masculine, and that's the way the masculine is supposed to be. It's supposed to be law and order. But then there's the chaos, the feminine, that's just like following their feelings. And like, no, there are no laws. There are no rules. If I want to be a cat, I can be a cat. If I want to be a dude, I can be a dude. If I want to be a woman, I can be a woman. There are no rules. Woohoo! And so they're going to the extremes. And that's a good thing, actually, because we're supposed to be divided, because it's supposed to be the masculine and feminine, but they're supposed to come together to create life. But they're both rejecting each other. The Republicans are rejecting the Democrats are rejecting the Republicans, the masculine is rejecting the feminine is rejecting the masculine. They're supposed to polarize, so in order for life to happen, there's a cell, and then the cell divides, and then once the cell divides, it's two cells, and then they differentiate. I'm this kind of cell, and I'm this kind of cell. And then after they're differentiated, they come together to make a bigger thing. And so that's where we are in humanity right now. the people are not looking at their mirror. They're pointing a finger at their mirror, not realizing when they're doing that, the finger's pointing at them. They're rejecting an aspect of themselves. So everybody with me right now? So leaders go first. You're here in the God-Man Challenge because you're going first. You're taking responsibility for looking in your mirror, finding what it is that you've rejected in yourself, the part of you that you've rejected. And you're going to receive that part of you. You're going to heal that part of you. You're going to love that part of you. And so the anatomy of emotional immature leadership. So there's 3 coping defaults of emotionally immature leadership. Number 1 is fixing, which is where you avoid discomfort by solving her or his emotion. Anybody ever done that one before? Fixing. You avoid the discomfort in you by trying to solve someone else's emotions. Everybody with me? So that is a coping default of emotionally immature leadership. Number 2 is fleeing. So you withdraw, stonewall, or go silent. Anybody ever done that one before? I don't know what to do with this crazy chaos here, so I'm just going to distance myself. That is the second coping default of emotionally immature leadership. And the third one is forcing, where you dominate, guilt, shame, or overcorrect someone. Anybody ever done that? Where like this thing is I just have to put an end to it right now, and you dominate. You put it in a contained box so you can just have some peace. You know what I'm talking about? So none of those work. I mean, they work for a while in time, but we're not time-based beings, we're eternal beings, and you will reap what you sow. So each of those is a form of protection, but none of them are presence. So true leadership means staying rooted under fire. In marriage, in mission, in the moment of misinterpretation, resistance, silence, or explosion. We talked about yesterday, power comes from your ability to be, to unconditionally be. Jesus had the full power manifest on earth because he had an unconditional ability to be. He was perfectly present in the midst of the unimaginable, the unbewithable. Unwithable. Is that unwithable? Be unwithable. He was being with it. That was power. Like nobody was his God. The person, the people spitting on him, the people ripping his skin off, the people making fun of him, putting the crown of thorns on him, the people nailing him to a cross, the people stabbing him, none of those had any power over him. He was infinitely powerful. Because none of them were his God. The Father's his God. And he followed the Father. The Father said, this is what you're going to do. He's like, I'm not going to this cross because you told me to. I could stop it right now if I wanted to, but if I did that, I would be out of alignment with the Father. And I'm not doing that because I'm submitted to him. And because I'm submitted to him, I have his authority. And I'm going to this cross with the full power of God. And the only reason you're doing this is because my Father allowed it. My Father ordained it. And if Satan knew why my Father ordained this, he would have never let you do what you're doing. You just got checkmated. And so that's what we're being called to. We're being called to go to the cross, our own cross. It's going to be a different expression of it, but we go to the cross so then we can be grace in the space. But as long as you're reacting to your mirror and running away from your mirror and trying to fix your mirror on the outside, trying to shave the mustache off the mirror, you're never going to make it to grace. And so the power of reflection. What if every emotional conflict was a mirror, not a minefield? So how you decode the triggers, you're going to say, what was said or done? What did that awaken in me? What insecurity, what fear, what rejection, what unworthiness did that awaken in me? It was already in you. That person didn't put it in you. You had that pain in you long before they showed up. You've used other people to feel the same exact way. It's not about it's not about what mirror you went in front of. Every time you walked in front of a mirror like that was shaped that way, anytime you walked, you saw the same thing. It's not that it wasn't specific to that person. It was specific about the type of mirror that person is, because that type of mirror shows you the thing that you're hiding. It's like coming from a specific angle and like, there's the thing. You're like, stop, you're showing somebody my thing. I don't want anybody to see that. I've spent my whole life trying to hide that thing and now you're showing it off. And that's why you're trying to shut the mirror up. You're trying to stop it. And so it awakens the fear, the lie, the judgment, the insecurities. It awakens it inside of you. It's been lying dormant because you've denied it and put it in a little cage and packed and stacked it for long enough. You're like, okay, cool, I'm good to go. But you don't deal with problems by denying. You don't deal with darkness by denying them. You deal with the darkness by bringing the light into it and bringing it into the light. And so the best way to bring the darkness into the light is get yourself in a room full of mirrors. Get yourself in a community. Get yourself in a family, a room full of mirrors that surround you from every angle, and there is no way to hide. Like if you want the fast path, get yourself where there's nowhere you can possibly hide. There's going to be a mirror from every angle that's going to show you what you don't want to see. But then take responsibility for that. They're just showing me what I don't want to see. But what I don't want to see is what I've got to deal with. I have to deal with this. This is mercy. God gave me these mirrors as mercy so that I can deal with what I don't want to see. So I got salvation, I received grace, but now freedom is a process. That's my part. And if I don't take responsibility for that part, then I'm never going to meet the standards of heaven, which means I never get to come in. That's your part. God did his part, grace. We do our part, freedom. We take responsibility for our reality, and we do that with our mirror. So you're going to say, well, when the trigger shows up, you're going to say, well, what was it that was said or done? What did that awaken in me? What fear, lie, judgment, insecurity? What did that awaken in me that was dormant that I thought I'd got done away with? I started to hit it, but turns out it was still there. Whoop, there we go. And so that pops out. And then what would a kingdom leader do right now? And so what a kingdom leader would do right now, it's called mirror mastery. See, life is inherently meaningless. We assign the meaning to the moment. Whatever meaning we assign to the moment is going to determine the experience that we have. And so we are meaning-making machines, but that just happened. We're built to do that. We're built to make meaning, but we're making meaning that is not in line with what God made it mean. See, everything happens for a reason. All things work for good for those who believe in God and are called according to his purpose. So whatever shows up, what it means is God's on the throne. But if you make any meaning other than that, you are out of alignment with God. You're making up a meaning and disconnecting yourself from the truth. So you still get to make meanings, but the point is to seek first the kingdom of God is within. Go to God first and ask God, hey, what meaning should I assign to this moment? And then boom, he tells you what meaning to do, and then it's your time. Now it's up to you. He said, here's what meaning you should assign to this moment, and then it's your job to make the meaning. So not my will, but thine be done. Okay, your will is for me to make it this meaning. Okay, well, I will make it this meaning. So you sovereignly surrender. And so we're meaning-making machines, but it's time to become meaning-making masters. Start to master it. Master that you're making the meanings. And so how you become a meaning-making master is through mirror mastery, mastering your mirrors, being present with your mirrors. Mirror mastery is the ability to slow down your emotional reaction long enough to ask, what is this revealing in me? Everybody say that. What is this revealing in me? What is this mirror revealing in me? What is this moment revealing in me? What is this moment revealing in me? Not what is this moment revealing to me? What is it revealing in me? If I don't like this moment, if I don't like this mirror, what is it in me that I don't like? It's not what I do not like about it. It's what I do not like about me. What in me do I not like about this mirror? What in me do I not like about this moment? That's it. It's so simple. But people don't do it. It's common sense, actually, but common sense is not common practice. People know what to do and they don't do it. Who knows what I'm talking about? So we've got there. I see there's all the villagers, but then also some people online that were at the last Remember experience. And when the Remember experience began, the very first Remember experience, I didn't know what it was, but how we created it, we said, okay, this is going to be remembering the family. And so specifically the family, we said there's the God the Father, God the Mother, God the Son, and God the Daughter. And that's the whole family unit, the mother, father, son, and daughter. Like that, what that covers everyone. It covers every aspect of a family. Mother, father, son, and daughter. And so we knew the remember experience was about remembering all the members of the family coming together in divine design and right order. That's all I knew about it. And so we went on this wild journey, and it wasn't until the very last remember, which was remember 9. Was it remember 9? 9.0? Is that what the last one was? Yeah. We finally remembered. It didn't fully completely remember because we went into the divine design into right order because the men finally woke up, because the men were created to lead, and the men finally woke up, and right there we owned that we'd been stuck in the darkness chasing tails, and we owned that. And we stood up in front of the women and shared that. We made a declaration, and we woke up. Now, the women still didn't wake up yet. That actually didn't just happen until last night. Now, so the men went. We held a space for the women, and it's been about a month now. We've been holding this space while they just they haven't done their part, but it wasn't time yet. It was time for the men to be tested, to see if they would stay present with the women just swirling. And they've been swirling. The women have been swirling here at the village. And that's great. And then that last night, it was time. So it was divine timing. And then there was the fulfillment, and the women made their declaration. So let's actually, I'm going to go ahead and get ready. We got 7 more minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and get ready for that and bring Mel in. I think it's time. So I'm going to play this song. Let me talk about today's homework. Well, first of all, let's do our little mantra again. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I'm meant to see in me. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I'm meant to see in me. So our homework tonight, so we've got for men who are married or dating, for men who are single, for women who are married or dating, and for women who are single. It's in your workbook. Again, if you don't have your workbook printed out, make sure you go print that out. You'll see it in the Signal group, also in the thank you page for the God-Man Challenge is on there as well. And also we're going to put the recordings up. So today this recording will be up for 24 hours. We're extending. I said it's going to be 24 hours each time. We're extending the one from yesterday a little bit because some of the people didn't get to see it and they weren't aware of that. So the one from yesterday, you can go back and watch that. We'll leave it up until tomorrow. And then this recording we'll leave up. Maybe I guess we'll just leave them all up for 2 days now to just make sure. Yeah, but we want to make sure nobody's getting left behind. But there are people out there that are watching this that are at work or things like that, so not being able to come during live time. But so we'll leave each recording up for 2 days now. So so yesterday we took off the mask. Today we are now facing the mirror. We're looking in the mirror to see what we've been hiding, what we used the mask to hide. Now we're going to look right in the mirror, face our fears. And so for the men, single men, think about a past relationship. How you react to the feminine presence now, what patterns come up, withdrawal, over-trying, defensiveness. What is the behavior protecting? What fear is still driving you? And you're going to reflect not on her, but on you. The God-Man does not perform. He listens and then he leads. For the women who are married, the men who are married, think of the last time she triggered you, her tone, her silence, her storm. Ask, what did I feel? Rejected, powerless, criticized. Then ask, what did that moment reveal about my leadership under pressure? Today, do not fix, do not flee, do not force. Stay, lead, listen, and let it shape you. For the women who are married or dating, think of the last moment that he dropped the ball. He didn't lead, he didn't notice, he didn't hold. Ask, where did I try to control, correct, or close my heart? Then ask, what wound was I trying to protect? And so today, you're going to stop managing him and you're going to start mastering your reflection. You're going to let your trigger become your teacher. For single women, reflect on your default relational pattern, over-functioning, over-pursuing, avoiding. What is the story that still drives that behavior? What is that story costing you? Today, ask God to reveal what he sees in you that fear cannot. Start responding from identity, not insecurity. So that's going to be our homework for tonight, but I'm gonna play the song that we just played earlier and prepared. Bring Mel up so we can get ready for Q&A and some holding space and some breakthroughs. And so great job for being here again for day 2, facing the mirror. Let's say it one more time. I don't fix, I don't flee. What I see in them, I'm meant to see in me. All right, give yourselves a big round of applause, big pat on the back. And we will be ready for Q&A as soon as this song is over. Great job, everybody. 1 second.
Come on, let the fire begin. I was taught. I was taught to be steady, be kind, play it right, hold it close without the fight. But I gave and I gave till my soul disappeared. Love like a servant, still lost what I feared. They called me a good man, said I did all I could, but my crown gathered dust where a king once stood. She didn't need nice, she needed real. Not a man who performs, but a man who can feel. I chased her fire, but I lost my flame. Built her a world while I forgot my name. Then you came in the wreckage, in the ash in the end, and said, son, now's the time, let the fire begin. From good man to God man, I rise. I buried Adam in the dirt, let the mask fall with the hurt. No more shame, no more blame, no more plan B. From good man to God man, I rise. Let the counterfeit die, so the king in me can breathe. From good man to God man, I was sin, not selected. I'm a God man, yeah, I'm rising in the forge, not the fantasy. I let the fire make me free. From good man to God man, I'm rising. I remember her fire, it cut like a knife, but now I see it was carving new life. She mirrored the places I didn't want seen, demanded the man, not the broken machine. I'm not here to be safe, to be praised, to be sweet. I'm here to hold glory at the soles of my feet. So I speak with truth and I stand in flame, and I love like a lover who ain't playing no games. Yeah, I used to shrink, I used to hide, but now I bleed. Presence I breathe in the bride. You gave me the sword, you gave me the ring. You said take your throne, son, let her feel the king. From good man to God man, I'm rising. I buried Adam in the dirt, let the mask fall with the hurt. No more shame, no more blame, no more plan B. From good man to God man, I'm rising. Let the counterfeit die, so the king in me can breathe. From good man to God man, I was sent, not selected.
righty. Welcome back, everyone, to the Q&A breakthrough section of day 2, Facing the Mirror. So we got me and my beautiful wife, Mel, here. And so I was sharing that we just got the completion for, we did the men took their responsibility. They stepped into their roles during the Remember experience. And then just last night, the women made their declarations on what their role is. And so I'd like to start with that before we open it up for shares. I'm gonna lead the men in making our declaration, and then we'll have and then we'll have the women make their declaration. So we're ready to face our mirror, because these declarations are like they set the stage for you to face your mirror. So it's your relationship with your mirror. It's you declaring up front how you're going to relate to your mirror. So you're actually going to not punch it in the face. You're actually going to you're going to be able to see what you've been hiding from yourself in your mirror. So you're creating your declaration is a declaration to yourself, not to your mirror, because obviously you can't really declare to your mirror. If you're declaring to your mirror, you're just declaring to yourself. But it's about what you're declaring. And then once you've made that, but the declaration is, how am I going to relate to my mirror? How am I going to relate to the rejected aspect of myself? And so I'll start with the men. I guess let me see if I can pull it up so I'd screen share it so y'all can read it with me. 1 second. All right. Can y'all see that? 1 second. All right. So let's all, on the count of 3, men, we're going to read this together. 1, 2, 3. Ladies, we apologize for not being there when you needed us the most. We were lost in the darkness chasing tails. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to be there when you need us, and we're going to be there when you don't. We've made mistakes. We own that. We apologize for blaming you. It was always our responsibility. We are men. We are created to lead, so we're doing that now. We're leading now. You can trust us. Feel free to test us. And if you don't trust us, tell us. We will receive you telling us, and when that happens, we'll check in. We'll ask God, where do we need to be corrected? And if God tells us we need to be corrected, we will make that correction. You can trust us to do that. If we don't need to be corrected, you can trust us to tell you that too. Test away. I understand why you need to test, because we failed for so long. It might take some time to trust again. Take however long you need. I'll be here. We receive your love, support, and appreciation. Thank you for acknowledging us. We were built for this. We were born for this. It is our honor and privilege to serve you. We were born to lead. We remember that now. We remember who we are now. And then we shout freedom. On the count of 3, men, shout out freedom. 1, 2, 3. Freedom! All right, great job, man. And so we had some tips on how, like, as the men, you've made that declaration now, because we are now covering for the ladies. We're the covering for their chaos to, because that's their role. We're order, they're chaos, and so we're covering so the storm doesn't. Because the way that most men are looking at women, when you actually, because they are chaos, like the way that most men, they're afraid of the women, because they're like, they've seen that chaos destroy worlds, because it can destroy worlds if it's not under a covering of a man who's following God, or a container that's where, like our Earthwaking Village, there's a container that is, we're submitted to the King of Kings, so his presence is there, so we're all in the container of him. And so from that energy, that it doesn't destroy worlds, it creates worlds. So the feminine being the electricity, the masculine being the light bulb. And so thank God the women have massive amounts of electricity. The more electricity, the brighter our light can be. But back when we're afraid of the women we're thinking they're going to destroy our world, because you can't contain it. Oh no, what are they going to do? They're going to shock everybody and catch everything on fire. Then you just, resist it and try to figure out how to shut that thing up. But that kills the woman. And so we don't do that here. And so that's what you've just now all said. I'm now celebrating the electricity. Thank God for the electricity that brings and births life. So now here's some tips on how that we came up with at the Remember Experience on how to relate to what you just said. So in the old world, what would usually appear to be nagging from your wife is actually a precious gift from God through your woman. Being tested is a huge opportunity. When you see it coming, you can go ahead and own it before she even has to say anything, and then you could apologize for what she's coming for and own it. You apologize. Hey, I take responsibility for that. I saw what you're coming at. Thank you. Here, if you don't do that ahead of time when it does come, just man up and receive it like a man, deeply, openly, and honestly. The role of the woman, testing you, to poke your buttons, to trigger everything that is not of God in you, to tell you all the ways you've been disappointing, failing, not good enough, and not acting God enough. They're supposed to do that because you're getting refined. And we're meant to be 24 karat gold. We're perfectly refined gold, all the impurities that come out of us. And so that's what the woman, she's showing us where the impurities still are. Not for us to try to, a good man will just try to cover it up. He'll just like, well, let me just smash some more gold on top and try to cover this up, try to fix it. But no, you got to go into the fire, the refiner purification fire, and you're completely transformed by those flames, the forge. And you don't come out the same. You're now and you get more and more purified until, they're highly sensitive. The women are highly sensitive to the impurities inside of the men. Thank God we have women that are highly sensitive to the impurities that we can't see inside of ourselves. So we can get that stuff out of us. But you've got to truly receive them and their sensitivities as the gift that it is. So your commitment is to support the women in doing their role so they can king make you. The fire will be hot. It has to be. It's forging you. It's burning off everything that you are not, and it has to burn several times to forge the steel of the sword as strong as possible. Like when the gold goes into the refiner's fire, when the sword goes into the forge, it goes multiple times. It's not just a one-time thing. It goes in the fire, comes out, cools off for a moment, goes back in the fire, cools off. The gold goes in the fire. All the impurities come to the surface. They boil up to the surface. When the gold gets melted, it starts boiling, and the boiling is what brings the impurities to the surface, and then it pop out on top. So it boiled up to the top, and then you wipe that stuff off, cool off, and then go back in the forge. The fire boils. What comes to the surface is the impurities. Wipe that off. Boom. And so that's a God thing, to turn us men into 24 karat gold. So God is looking at us. Like I keep saying, Jesus said, nothing in me does not come from God. The only difference between me and you now is in me there's nothing else. He doesn't have any impurities. So when the goldsmith is refining the gold, how he knows it's done is when he looks down and sees a perfect reflection of him in it. When it's his face, like a perfect reflection of his face. Oh, it's ready. So men, we're going to keep getting refined until we're a perfect reflection. So, all right, now we're going to go for the women's declaration to complete their role, their responsibility, so they can own that. And again, the declaration is they're saying it to the gentlemen, just like we just said it to the women, but we're really making the declaration to ourselves, to our how we're going to relate to our mirror. So, men, now that you've said that declaration, you have an entirely new relationship to your mirror, the women. And now the women are going to do the same thing, and they're going to have an entirely new relationship to the men. How they're going to receive us as a gift. We're not dominating them. We're holding a space for them to be able to flow. All right, go ahead, Mel.
Gentlemen, we receive your covering. We receive your repentance. We honor the space you've opened for us to become whole, and we will not waste it. We apologize for using our pain as a weapon, for punishing instead of processing, for blaming you when we didn't want to face ourselves, for doubting your strength, even when you showed up bleeding but willing. We've tested you unfairly. We've compared you unjustly. We've competed with you when we were created to complete you. We own that now, and we ask for your forgiveness. We lay down our manipulation. We lay down our control. We lay down our pride, our protection, our performance. We choose to come under covering, not as servants, but as sacred partners, not to be ruled, but to be led in love. We now see that your leadership is not domination, it is devotion. We will not confuse power with control again. We honor your strength, and we take responsibility for how we respond to it. We commit to speak life, not fear, to build, not belittle, to respect, not resent, to uplift, not undermine, to bless, not blame. We are wombs of destiny. We are birthers of heaven. We are the daughters of Mother Mary, who is purity crowned with surrender, and Mary Magdalene, who is devotion redeemed in fire. We are not little girls in grown bodies. We are God women. We will no longer sabotage your rising. We will rise with you. We will no longer withhold our hearts. We offer them freely. We will not test to destroy. We test to reveal what's true. You have remembered who you are, and now so have we. We are ready to be queens, not for position, not for purpose, but for purpose, definitely for purpose, to protect the promise, to anoint the new, and to rebuild the family altar together.
Come on, let's give it a big round of applause. How'd that feel? It is done on earth as it is in heaven, and so it is. All right, let's go ahead and let's take some shares. What's coming up? Did that do anything for you? Men, is there anything coming up for you? I know, Hunter, you were here at the last Remember, so maybe getting to feel the completion. I don't know if that brings any. And Mihai, if anybody here that was at the last Remember that get to feel the completion of it, if you'd like to share. I see Frank's on here. Frank, you weren't at the last one, were you? You were the one before the last one, Frank? Frank was the freedom guy, like Frank the Tank, man. He's the one that really set us free. The Remember before last, he's shouting freedom, and he brought the heat and led the men, and so that set the stage to really prepare us for what came at the last one. Oh look, there's Soul, me and Mel's son Soul right there in Tanya's screen. Hey buddy, how you doing, bud? All right, so does anybody have any
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, hey buddy.
Hey, that was beautiful. I really enjoyed hearing that from Mel, and I actually I was closing my eyes, I could hear all the women that Remember doing their thing. So it really did feel like a completion of what the men did, and we stood up there, and it felt earth shaking to me hearing Mel say that. Just like the woman said, it felt earth shaking when the men did their thing. It really resonated. So that was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you, brother. All right, anyone else? Any shares? Any questions? Anything coming up? And it's open for women too. I just invited, or men that weren't at Remember Experience as well. It's open for anybody right now. Oh, here comes Bradley. Can y'all have a chair set up next to the camera? Is there one up there right now? Yeah, come on up. And somebody might need to go. We can't hear you. There you go. I think that's fixed now. Try it now.
Yeah, I was just going to speak to the idea that the Women's Declaration brought a sense of balance to the commitment from my perspective. In other words, we as men made that commitment to the women at the Remember Experience, and then as of yesterday, and then again confirmed this morning. Michaela actually read that to me, or stated that again to me earlier this morning. So that's the third time I've heard that now.
Let's go.
It's
Miracle, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nice.
it's really a miracle. And it does feel like this balancing of the scales, the masculine and the feminine commitments coming together to form one complete declaration.
Let's go. Thank you, brother. Alrighty. Oh, look, we got Dragon in the house. What's up? Oh, here's Bianca. Go ahead.
So that declaration for me feels really full circle and complete. It's something I felt inside of me, but I didn't have words for, and I wanted to be for the man that I had, but I've learned so much. It's full circle completion. I just wanted to say thank you guys for it. I feel complete inside of me speaking it to the men and hearing them receive it. And so I just pray that it ripples out to the whole world. That's where I'm at. So thank you.
Let's go. So it is. I mean, it is. It's going. It can't be stopped. It's already rippling out into the world. So. Oh, is that Henry coming up? Cool.
Okay, you can see me.
Yeah, we see and hear you.
Okay, that was the first time that I've heard those two or seen those two declarations just said back to back. And I'm thinking about Dysfunction Junction last night. I had some different feelings about it when the women came up because I was so focused on the approach, not the actual declaration, but seeing that there, I don't see how anyone on earth can't read those two in succession and not see the immense possibility and potential of men and women to fall in love on a soul level again. It was wonderful.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, it's just right. It's the divine design. This is the way God created. Like, I didn't make this stuff up. Mel didn't make this stuff up. We didn't, as a community, make this stuff up. It was always there from the very beginning. And God always gets in the end what he wanted in the beginning. That's God's divine design, his original intention. And so we are now returning to the beginning. All right, we got Sarah and then Lucy and then David.
I'm inspired I wanted to say blown away, but I'm inspired by how these declarations give me, I don't know if this is going to communicate, so I might say it a couple of ways, but it gives me a way to it gives me a listening. It gives me a way to listen to community versus individuals. It's like the first time that we've distinguished the men from the women inside of community and like distinguished how to listen to them. And it's so, all the words that are coming to me seem inappropriate, but I'm gonna say them anyway, like juicy, yummy, lovey, that. Like,
So those words are completely fine under the covering of the divine masculine.
yeah, it feels really beautiful.
You don't want to do those words out there in Babylon because they can be perverted out there, but those are perfectly safe and secure and correct inside of this under the covering.
And I love that.
You got anything coming up?
Nothing's coming up. I just
All
love
right.
you. Thank you.
Great job, Sarah Kay. The gratitude queen. All right, Lucy, hey there.
Hey, okay, so I love the fact that with the men's declaration, it was led by you, John, as the full, complete divine masculine, and then the declaration for the women came through Mel, which was Mel's the representation of the full divine feminine. So I love that it was led through that way so that we have a way to a channel and a direction to go because we've been so inverted. So I love that it is that complete circle, like Bianca has said, and now we can actually go in the divine order, in divine timing, and just like everything's been occurring over time, remembering who we truly are. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, Lucy. Thank you.
All right, David. Hey, bud.
Hola. So with the Women's Declaration, I can what where it takes me is to all the memories of my past relationships, and it feels a lot of relief from a divine deeper understanding that whatever happened in the past is forgiven, and now that I can actually fully trust in the feminine, and so I don't have to or need any begging or for love or performing, and actually like just free to be. And well, you and all the family here knows that we are in a process of restoring balance between my wife and I. We're like we both had been overpendulating, and me and my feminine and her and the masculine, and actually we are learning from each other, like how to recalibrate that aspect. So I'm really grateful for all this transformation. um the aspect of all this is like that I wonder is like I understand that this is a deep and a work that probably never end. But when or how can I discern? Like, for example, the invitation is just to see me or see what is the what I see in my wife that is not in my wife. It's actually me. So I feel like there is not gonna be, unless I stop um, looking, or I don't know, judging, would say, judging anything about her. It's when I supposed to be feel the most clean. But then how can I but I just to give context, it's like it's like I'm having a hard time sometimes uh, trying to look where is it that God is not in my life as I see that happening in my wife. So how can I discern that actually it's me from a really center space? Like, I'm discerning that you are in this space. But what we discussed yesterday, like, well, that's because that's not her space, it's our space, because it's the we between us. So yeah, how to clean that aspect where I just want to point out things to her, like, hey, this is an invitation for you to see or look deeper in what I'm telling you, is without like when understanding that I'm clean, that I'm doing this because the sake or the health of the whole relationship. It is no way, because even if that's the answer, like, well, I take it.
Yeah.
how
So
to,
what?
how to point to things to my wife that I cannot, like, things that I cannot relate with.
Well, it's still a we. You'll
Still the
if
we.
you're seeing something in her, you're seeing something in y'all. So you would just say, if you see something that's off, like you could just say, hey, if I'm distinguishing that we are off in this area right here. How can we work together? First of all, do you see what I'm seeing in we? And then if so, like, how can we, I'm not your enemy, you're not my enemy. We're together, working together. to put the function in this dysfunction. And so but this is because if you're distinguishing something that's not functioning, so it's dysfunctional, it's not a judgment on it, it's just like this isn't functional. And so do you agree that we are not functional right here? Okay, great. So how can we work together to become more functional in this? And y'all just work together as a team to look at the mirror in each other, like finding it inside of yourself. What's your role in it? And she'll find her role in it. And if either one of you are looking at the other one and thinking, well, they're not finding their role in it. Well, where are you not finding your role in it? That's where you go, oh, okay, how can I find my role in it more? Because if you find your role in it enough, your mirror will start to find its role in it too. So the degree in which you're looking at your mirror, like, how come they're not finding their role in it? That's the degree which you still need to be refined more and go deeper into finding your role in it. Anything coming up for you, Mel?
No.
Receive, like, yeah, it's it cracked open in a different way, like, since I'm in a different space than last night. But yeah, I fully receive. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job, brother. Come on, go fam, go team. Oh, Frank the Tank's coming. Let's go, brother. I'm sorry, I got loud over there.
Hello, everyone. I just feel so much gratitude and appreciation for you, Jonathan, Mel, and all of Earth Waking, all the people here online coming together and, learning new ways of how we can connect with each other outside of judgment and through loving. I remember when I was there for the 8th Remember experience, that it was like Christmas for me. I mean, everybody was like a gift that was opening for each other. And I see that so much in us now today, that life is this cycle. It's giving and receiving. And we're all expressions of love, returning love to love, giving love back to itself. And the more you can discover that, I think the more beautiful life and the closer we get to the kingdom. So that's how I feel.
Nice. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Completely agree. It's great to see you here and for you to share your presence with us. Like you were just again, all the Remember experiences are like that. It's just like a big Christmas party, and we're all gifts, and we all get to open the gifts of each other. And so you were an extraordinary gift for us at that Remember, as we were all for you as well. But it's just really great to hear your voice and have your voice be heard again here in our presence. Love you, buddy. All right. Oh, Harry. Hey, bud. Good to see you.
Yeah, I just want to share what's on my mind shortly. I echo what Henry said about these 2 declarations. Just it feels so empowering to be able to work towards that potential at Earth Waking to actually know how to live in divine relationship with someone else. And I just want to share, like, when I left Earth Waking to come back and get everything taken care of here, to get there as soon as possible. I had great intentions, but I fell behind because I've allowed a lot of distractions and old habits to take up my time, and so things have been dragging on a bit. And I've totally been re-inspired on the Sunday gathering last week with Jonathan at the invocation at the end with calling and grace. I just, when I went through that invocation, I just was filled with uplifting spirit, Holy Spirit. I just felt like, it's hard to explain. It was just like lightening up and knowing that this is the right place for me to be, and just re-inspired to get back there as quickly as I can. And so that's my intention now. And one way or the other, I'll be back for the next Remember experience.
Let's go. Come on.
Whether I'm totally complete or not, selling my place, but just be back there and then handle whatever needs to be done after that. So I just want to share that, and I'm just so looking forward to being part of this family and part of this merging of the masculine and feminine.
Thank you, brother. Looking forward to you getting back here too. You already are part of the family, so it's not, you're not looking forward to being part of the family. You already are. It's just the physical manifestation is what's still coming. But appreciate you. All right. And if anybody has not attended Remember Experience, or if you have and you want to come back again, you can just go to rememberexperience.com. I highly, highly, highly recommend. Like, I could not imagine missing a single one of them ever. They're the absolutely coolest thing that has ever existed. So, and you can, if you haven't been here, you can kind of already hear in the shares, but I'm putting the link in the chat, rememberexperience.com. The next one is August, I think 21st. Anyway, all the details are on there. All right, Noel, go ahead.
Hello, hello. There we go. Very nice to see you, Harry. It's been a while, and I keep thinking I gotta say hi to Harry. I don't know where he is, but I'm just so glad to see you. And I wanted to just, my life story. We all have our life story, and it's all the perfect story, I think, to figure out the piece of the whole that we are. And from 2 years old, I knew that my mom and my dad, on Earth, were not doing it right, and I could feel it, and it was so important to me that they get it right, that when my stepfather came on the scene at age 5, I just terrorized him for 8 years. I just wanted him out very violently, and I just made life a living hell for all of us for that length of time until I finally got booted out of the house, which I felt like a victim. Oh well. And then I brought some of that into this community, and I've been growing ever since. But my journey with the Remember Experience just really was about, I get to play Mother Mary in the first one. I moved here as a result of the first one. I didn't even think I was coming at all. It was not my plan one bit. And but after the first one, John said it's a no-brainer. You're supposed to be here, and I felt that was true. And I also felt like I needed to provide a space for my family to land. I got that. I felt from God. That was a message from God. So anyway, each of the 1, 2, 3, and it was 9 was the completion number. Just sort of has been growing me, and I was like, John, this is completion. This is completion. I don't know what it was, but it was for me. It was completion for me, and the thing that became complete was this masculine and feminine that now we have on Earth. We're grounding. We're anchoring this thing that was something I knew about at 2 years old, and I was born to be a part of this for whatever reason. And then I got to be consecrated last night. I got to be the first one to make that pledge to the men. And because I had terrorized a freaking 20-year-old boy who wanted nothing more than to be a good father to me for 8 years, I felt it when I said those words. I just want every man to be able to step up into the power that God created them as. And I'm so sorry for all the pieces in my life where I have just undermined people, cut them down at the knees, literally fantasized about my stepfather's death on a regular basis. I'm sorry the plane went down, all you people with all your family members. I want him fucking down, you know, like that was how much hatred I had. Crazy. I mean, that's crazy. And so many women are walking around with just like time bombs of, you know, somewhere they feel justified rage. And truly, according to the Adam and Eve story, they're right. I mean, you know, just turn around, bitch. Drop that apple. We fucked up, God. What's next? I mean, that really could have solved the whole problem. No wonder we're pissed. But it's like, we've been torturing you ever since, and it's time to stop that and support each other. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on.
Bring it down.
I always love when Noel picks up the microphone because you don't never know what's gonna come out of that lady's mouth. It's always gonna be some God stuff. All right. If y'all haven't read my book yet, Good Man to God Man, make sure you get that book. It's goodmantogodman.com. I think is that it? I put the link in the chat. I think that's it. Yeah. It really clearly, yeah, there it is. It works. So it really clearly distinguishes it all. So make sure you read that book. Can y'all feel it? It's already I talked about yesterday. I was like, by the end of these 5 days, we're going to be in a completely different world. We were completely transformed, be in a completely different world. And we're only on day 2, and it's already happened. You feel it's already happened? Like we're literally not in the same world as we were yesterday morning in a God way. We still got 3 more days. It's Soul keeps waving. Chad, hey buddy, I see you came unmuted.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not all that Zoom savvy. I can't figure out how to raise my hand, so I'll just step in instead.
Yeah, come on.
2 things. First, I want to affirm what you're doing and hope how profound it is. I've been involved with a couple of ministries in the last year that are doing similar things, and all of them are good at a foundational level. But the depth of the revelation that you have that I think is being held back because of religious institutions and just the things that have not been complete to let go of for so many people. So first I want to say that I think that, you know, there are a lot of people, especially men, a lot of my contemporaries that are really seeking the Lord's direction in these matters, seeing that, you know, knowing that things are not the way that they believe the Lord intended, but not really knowing how to go about the reconciliation and how, you know, I mean, I love the terminologies that you're using, even the remembering and, you know, and bringing all of those pieces back together. So I think it is, you know, we are at a time where there are a lot of people that are seeking that, and it's coming together in a lot of different shapes and forms. But the other part of that is that my wife has a neurological condition that she's been suffering with for quite some time, and I have felt like I had the revelation a number of years ago that that was actually something that I needed to do something about, not something that she was necessarily dealing with, but something that I needed to deal with. And so for several years, I have just been becoming gooder and gooder trying to find the resolution for that because and you know
Chad, you're
the
getting it. Chad's getting it.
the beauty in that is that if she were not suffering, I probably would have just kept being the same old dude that I was, you know, and so it's through that suffering that it has drawn me deeper and deeper into that, you know, trying to discern what the Lord wanted because I couldn't stand to watch her continue to suffer. But and even, you know, through some of these other things in the last year of really coming to that place of realizing that, you know, seeing that she didn't trust me, beseeching the Lord for what I have done to be untrustworthy because, gosh, you know, I'm pretty trustworthy. I always show up and do the right thing by and large. But knowing that my foundations prior to our relationship of 30 years is, there were a lot of things that I did prior to that that were untrustworthy. And so I've been reconciling a lot of that, but just taking it really to the reflection of what you're describing in regard to the things that I really want to see be beneficial to her, seeing the fear that she has in all of the things, and not really recognizing that, that those are fears that are in me, that because of my strength and my ability to just press on and all of the things, I really have never recognized that reflection of the fear that's in her is actually fear that's
Come
in
on,
me.
Chad.
And anyway, it's pretty profound.
Yeah, so I can, it's like it takes one to know one kind of thing. I was distinguishing this last night. There's there's a distinction this guy Myron Golden I was learning from. He was talking about like there's a low level of teaching is like strategy and tactics, and then above that is like values or I think that, and then it's like principles or like strategy and tactics, then principles, and then the next higher is the values, and then the highest is the essence. And so essence is like really it's a deep it's a deep like you're way beneath the surface to get to that. And so on the surface, when you're watching someone who's very deep, someone who's not deep can't tell, they can't see the depth of it. It's just, but there's so much going on that it's like somebody who's a wine connoisseur and they can taste the wine. They can tell you where those grapes came from, like how old the thing is. I don't know what all they can tell you, but they can tell you a lot of stuff because it's very nuanced. And so I can see that and experience that inside of you, Chad, the depth that you are coming from. And I do see there this space is a gift for you, and I see you receiving it already. I see you seeing it and receiving it, and but there's deeper that it's opening right now. I can see you seeing the opening of it and recognizing it, and I can guarantee that it's even deeper than you can possibly presently perceive. You're just now opening. You're dipping your toe in and opening it. And what is your wife's neurological condition? Can you say more about that?
Medical world called it multiple sclerosis. So I don't.
Is she mobile?
Mostly. I mean, she can move herself. She can't walk very far, so she spends most of her time in a wheelchair or electric scooter.
The remember experience, like if you could get her to remember experience like this, we would that you both be cracked open. You'd have to go first. Most likely, I know she might go first. She actually, it depends. I don't know. She could go first, but somebody's going to crack open. There's something. The gooder and gooder and gooder is covered something, and that gooder is going to crack. Like, I mean, anybody who's been to the remember experience can tell you like that's the place to crack it. That's the place to crack the gooder, the religion thing. You started off, we're sharing about how like I don't know exactly the term that you said, but basically like the religiosity was keeping certain distinctions that are coming through me from being able to spread throughout the church community, the people that are actually following God, that want God. They're like, you're giving their life to God, but there's still like a religious film on top of it or something, like a veil that's still blocking from the depths of what is happening here. So yeah, but we'd definitely love to have it. It would not. It's not going to be easy. Like if you were physically actually able to get here, I'm telling you, it's going to be very, very confronting, extremely confronting, and everything in you like no, and it's what it is, what it it is what it takes to crack that shell open and get to the depth, the deepest depths of the relationship, and the raw, real, the purification and the freedom that the salvation promises, but not while you're doing it with your own constructs and your own. You can't do it. You've got to get out of the way. And so I share. You can't find God because God was never lost. Our responsibility is find and remove all the barriers within us that edge God out. And so that's where the work is. Like, how am I been blocking the freedom? And your mirror is going to show you that, but you got to know how to look at the mirror to actually be able to see what the mirror is showing you. And so that's what we distinguish here. So yeah, we'd love to have it here. If there's any way you can get here, that'd be great.
And likewise, that mirror's going to be asking her the same question. So
yeah, say more. Go more with this.
well, you distinguished it, so just bringing it back, full circle. It's an equal journey, and it's a separately whole journey. And so again, just reiterating, it's extremely triggering intentionally.
Yeah, and because there's a lot of emotion packed and stacked inside of her that she doesn't know what to do with or where to go. And you're a really good man. I can tell. Like, you're a God man, and there's also still a really, 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 really good man as well. And so she's, I would assume, is a God woman and doing her absolute best to be a really, really good woman too. That it's being a really good woman is way more of a hell for women than it is for a man. Like, because they have all that emotion, they've got all that, and they're doing but it's not meant to be contained inside of a good package. And so
well, that's actually part of the revelation that's so amazing, is that for some time, because of my pursuit, I have been able to clearly see where she's striving, because nobody works harder than she does. Nobody does the right things more than she does. I mean, she practices medicine. She was trained to practice medicine. And so there's a lot in that journey, but I've not ever seen that from this perspective of that being a reflection of all of the things that I'm still trying to learn and perform, instead of being and trusting, even though, I'm nothing like I was 20 or 30 years ago. If, anyway, it's a whole new perspective.
yeah, yeah, she's got some big energy. It's begging to be set free. Have you used my spiritual surgeon yet?
No.
Have you Are you open to diving in a little bit right now with it?
Sure.
So I trained this. It's a AI that I trained based upon how I work with people, but it's more I'm like old school, we're gonna get down and dirty and raw and real. If I just come, but with using the spiritual surgeon, we can just laser beam on something and get and find something out. Find what it is, like and start to crack the thing open right now. So I'm gonna put inside the spiritual surgeon here what you're going through right now, and let's just see what it shares, what it brings up. 1 second. All right, so I'm going to type in the prompt here. I'll say, I am leading a God Man challenge, and today is all about seeing ourselves in the mirror, specifically themselves. You wished the mirror mercy, giving us the ability to see impurities, act them shared and life errors back to him that is suppressed or hidden beneath his good man identity mask, big leaf, and a really good man is also a fun man shared humbly and heartfelt that he has getting gooder to assist his wife healing from MS and is now realizing that she is thing he couldn't see in himself. Do you named Chad? All right, you ready, Chad? Destiny awaits. Ask and ye shall receive. All right, here's what I have for Chad, and for every good man discovering his hidden roots in the fire of marriage. From good to God, a mirror for Chad. Brother Chad, you're standing on holy ground, not because you've done something extraordinary, but because you finally stopped trying to. And now your wife isn't just showing you pain, she's showing you truth. You've been getting gooder and gooder, not out of rebellion, but out of love. But here's the mirror. That version of love was still rooted in fear. Fear of watching her suffer, fear of not being enough, fear of failing your assignment as a man, as a husband, as a protector. And that fear, no matter how noble it looks, isn't from God. It's from scarcity. It's from the old man, the one who says, if I can just be good enough, I'll make the pain go away. But the Son of God in you isn't here to make the pain go away. He's here to baptize it, to walk her through it, to stare hell in the face with unshakable peace and say, even this can't separate us from love. So here's the piercing mercy of your wife. She is mirroring back the part of you still trying to save her from the cross instead of leading her through it. Your wife doesn't need a savior. She needs a husband crucified with Christ. Because the moment you stop trying to carry her with your goodness and instead die with her in trust is the moment resurrection power shows up. Not your power, his. This is the real God-man mirror. Your strength doesn't save her, your surrender does. So let the illusion die that you can fix her, that your goodness protects her, that your role is to outperform suffering. No, your role is to see clearly, to stand freely, to walk with authority rooted in the truth that Jesus already paid the price. And now you get to partner with that truth, not try to prove it. And the fruit of this shift, not a better husband, a resurrected one who walks not in the fear of failure, but the fire of love. Let this be the day you trade the good man mask for the God man mantle. Let your wife's suffering awaken you, not to try harder, but to die deeper and rise freer. I think that's, let me write this directly. I think that's clear, good for now. There's a little phrase that I say that I got along the journey. I'm like, God, what more can I do? What more can I do? And I finally heard what he said. He said, less. What more can I do, God? Less. You're doing is the problem. It's time to be done so you can be done. Like once you're done, you can be done. But as long as you're doing, you're never going to be done. It's never going to be finished, and God's never going to be able to do you as long as you're doing. So what's coming up for you right now, Chad? And Larry, I see your hand up. We're gonna end with Chad here because it's we're gonna do our end and on time as best we can. Since it's the God Man Challenge about order, and so we'll end on time here. But I'll call on you tomorrow for sure. Bring your question tomorrow, Larry, and I would love to hear what you've got. So what's coming up for you, Chad?
A lot of emotion for sure.
Great job, brother.
I get that. I see that. I just got to learn how to let go.
Love you, man. We got this together.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here at the God Man Challenge. I always say your difference makes a difference. I say that generically, but I mean it directly and individually and personally for every person. And your difference is definitely making a difference right here for everyone in this challenge right now. I promise you that.
Okay, I'll press in.
All right, let's go. Well, with that, we are now we got about 30 seconds left. So, Mel, you got anything? What did Chad bring up for you?
Just gratitude, just such deep respect and gratitude and compassion. I just see a king, just leaning in there, willing to do whatever it takes. That's all.
Thank you for being you, Chad. And thank you, everyone. Everybody here, remember, who you are makes a difference. The world is a much better place because you exist. Thank you for being you. Thank God for you. Thank God for us. Go team. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Do your homework tonight. Also, Chad, for you, for everybody at some point, I highly recommend to watch the movie What Dreams May Come. But Chad, watch the movie What Dreams May Come. And when you see the movie, it's Robin Williams. He's a good man in the beginning. And then there's a moment where he lets the good man die. He crucifies the good man. And I'm not going to tell you when that moment is. It's for you to go watch it and distinguish, like, ooh, this is the moment the good man died, got crucified, went to the cross, and that set the stage for the God man to resurrect. And then he ends as a God man. And there's it's very deep messages in there to what it means to. But if a good man watches it, he will miss the actual meaning of it. So you've got to see the distinction between good man and God man, and see how they're different, and let that come alive in you. All right. With that, I'll see all y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Get your homework done.